Hello everybody, this is Thannus here, and today we are back in Metroid Prime. In the previous episode, we infiltrated a space pirate science facility in Phendrana Drifts and acquired the super missile. In this episode, the map won't stop yelling at me to find something, so we're gonna press that button and then go the same exact way I was already going to go. Thanks, game. So, haven't found a use for our super missiles just yet, but rest assured, we'll need them soon. In the meantime, let's keep going through here, get rid of all these enemies in the way. And we have found this elevator here. Unlike other elevators in the game, though, this is not an area elevator. This just goes to a different part of this same area. So you don't have to worry about leaving Phendrana Drifts or anything like that. Very quiet, though. Alright. In this area, we have a few space pirates to deal with once again. So, make quick work of these guys. If I can actually hit them, they keep hiding behind crates. Boom. Boom. We got at least one more of these bozos. Alright. But we got the jet troopers as well. I think these guys are a different species of space pirate, honestly. They look much different. Aside from their whole armor. Anyway. We're going to try to actually get them to blow up these piles of crates as well. Because I don't believe there's a way for you to do so otherwise. All right, I'm just gonna kill them. These guys are not a new scan. If you recall, we encountered them outside of the Talon 4 area, and they have been dealt with. I think they should. Oh, nope, more. Gotta fend off a few of these bozos. Thankfully, missiles are in no short supply, so we can do that pretty easily. There. That being said, there's not all that much more we can do in this room. There are other things for us in this room, just not right now. So we'll have to find said things at a later point in time. Here's a hint. It has to do with, I believe, that tower there. And you can hear it too. Oh, I think we can go up here though. This might have to do with that other thing I mentioned though. No, it's the tower on the other side, and that definitely has to do with that tower there. So yeah, we can't do anything in here yet. Not a big deal. Let's go back through. Same deal. Scan the elevator. And we can go back down. You don't need to scan the elevator platform. It's not a logbook entry or anything. I just do it because OCD. More bomb. I'm having a hard time remembering what they're called. Bombu. That's what it is. Get rid of them. Walk through here. Alright, here we are in this room, and that is not a pleasant sight. Alright, Phazon Infusion, Stage 6, Subject Metroid BR5497. Subject's mass at 180% of previous Phazon cycle, increasing dosage by 4%. I didn't get to read the rest of the scans. Oh, well, that's not good. Behold, the very thing the series is named after. The well, the Metroid, but this is specifically a Talon Metroid, an energy-based parasitic predator. The effects of Phazon have turned these Metroids, a species of alpha predator native to SR-388, into a unique subspecies found only on Talon 4. A Talon Metroid will latch onto its prey and drain energy, growing larger as it does. The only way to shake an attached Talon Metroid off is to enter Morph Bomb mode and lay a bomb. And, of course, it has escaped. Unlike in other games, though, you do not need the Ice Beam to defeat Talon Metroids. They are vulnerable to other forms of attack. Thankfully. However, now that we've killed that Metroid, we have alerted everything in this room to our presence, which is not particularly great. Anyways, let's scan other stuff real quick. Metroid containment fields appear 100% effective after adjustments. No, they were not. Temperatures below 10 degrees centigrade will render Metroids docile. Pirate data. Space... Okay. Log 10.891.0. The reconstruction of Geoform 187, codenamed Ridley, was recently completed. After his defeat on Zebes, Command ordered a number of metagenetic improvements for him. Though aggressive, we were able to implement these changes in a cycle. The metamorphosis was painful but quite successful in the end. Early tests indicated a drastic increase in strength, mobility, and offensive capability. Cybernetic modules and armor plating have been added as well. We believe our creation, now called Meta Ridley, will become the mainstay of our security force, a job he will certainly relish. Internal organs of Metroid seem to be limited to nucleonic absorption I still can't speak. Absorption cells and massive energy reservoirs. Containment temperature stable at 3 degrees centigrade. Environmental diagnostics satisfactory. Metroid brain scan results in. They have brains? Studies show accelerated activity in parietal lobe during hunting cycles at temperatures above 10 degrees centigrade. The hooked mandibles of the Metroid penetrate the skin of its prey and siphon pure life force energy. We knew that already. Space Pirate encrypted data decoded, log 10.444.4. Initial transfer of Metroids to Talon 4 research facilities has been completed. 3 were terminated in incident at the landing site, but the others were pacified and transported safely. Initial Phazon infusion testing is underway. We are eager to observe the effects of Phazon on Metroids, especially their ability to absorb and process the energy given off by Phazon sources. Early research suggests a considerable growth in power and size. Whether the creatures stay stable thereafter remains to be seen. So they are experimenting on Metroids. Great. Stasis tank 8118, or is that a B? B118, contaminated beyond acceptable safety standards. Removal squad requested. So that Metroid was not planned to remain in here longer than it ended up being. There's even more scans available. Log 10.957.2. Confidence is high regarding Phazon applications. We know enough about Phazon now to begin combining it with Space Pirate DNA. The code name for this venture will be Project Helix. Preliminary studies indicate that Phazon infusion can produce radical new pirate genomes. Benevolent mutation levels are high in current test subjects. Phazon madness is a concern, but refinements in the infusion process should reduce or neutralize the odds of mental degeneration. There are so many scans from this point on in the game, I'm sorry. And I plan to read the majority of them. Alright. Handle that Space Pirate there. Let's see what these things say. As an energy-based creatures, Metroids show immediate mass increases upon energy absorption. Thank you for that. All guards must use ice containment gear when transporting Metroids. This includes sedated specimens and those pronounced dead. Directive: in the event of a Metroid attack, repel creatures with missiles set to maximum concussion. Good to know. I don't know what this thing is. Another Parasite Queen? Looks like it anyway. I don't think we're supposed to be able to get this item this early, but... Ah, crap. Alright, well, that was an unfortunate fall. go back up. I want that item. Hunter Metroid DS is showing signs of increased instability and heightened immunity to cold damping fluids. Motion up near Hunter Metroid DG appears to trigger psychotic episodes. Personnel are to stay at least 3 meters away from stasis tank. So the space pirates are up to some shady shit. Okay, I am able to get this item this early. This is a little bit of an annoying one, because you gotta not fall off the platform. Best to get it now, though, because I believe it is almost impossible to see in this room at a later point in time. Anyways, another missile expansion. Good shit. Alright, got an energy tank in there. I believe we can just... yeah. Awesome. We can actually destroy all of these tanks. No reason to. It's just funny. Let's fight this Metroid too. Why not? Oh yeah, when it's growing in size, you cannot injure it in any way. That was a resilient little effort. I wish these alarms would stop. This tank holds the remains of experiment 7526, conversion of elite pirate unsuccessful. That is visibly not a space pirate, but okay. East Quarantine Cave has been secured. Specimen remains in the quarantine area. All experiments suspended pending pacification. Metroids infused with Phazon strain Vertigo are thriving. We feel they could be Class 1 energy harvesters if proper submission measures are employed. I don't believe there's anything else to scan over on this side. Ah! Stasis tank CO12 is contaminated beyond acceptable safety standards. Remove immediately. It is very funny to me that the space pirates have, like, safety protocols in place. I feel like they would be the kind of faction to just wantonly do science without any concern for the repercussions, but apparently they are at least a little bit concerned with them. Anyway. Quarantine specimen exhibits highly aggressive behavior. Its body structure, composed of Phazon ore, appears nearly invulnerable. This is regular efforts to train and discipline subject useless. Please tell me this is the alarm. No, it's not. Log 11420.7. Metroid dissection continues to provide more questions than answers. Our research teams have isolated the energy conduits that run from the invasive twin mandibles to the energy core in the creature's quadripartite nucleus, but the manner in which a Metroid actually extracts the life force from its prey remains an utter mystery. The victim does not lose blood or any other vital fluids, and yet the Metroid extracts energy. Identifying this energy is our central problem. Ugh. It takes no physical form, and yet without it, the victim dies. We will continue to research this matter, as the isolation of this life-giving essence could be the key to our ascendance. Okay. Still not the alarm. Log 11550.6. Studies of Metroid biology continue, though with limited progress. It seems likely that we will be much more successful using the Metroids for means, rather than trying to reproduce their powers. If they could be adequately tamed, we could have no need of a proper understanding of their metabolism. A small force of disciplined Metroids could wipe out entire armies, and once we find a way to shield them from cold containment weapons, they will be invincible. Furthermore, if we could then harvest the energy they consumed, we would have a near-limitless source of power at our disposal. So, their plan is to make Metroids invulnerable to cold weapons, which it does get rid of a weakness, but we have already established that the Talon Metroids are not only weak to ice like other Metroids are, so they're planning on using other Metroids for this, right? Project Titan is suspended indefinitely. Security breaches resulting in massive casualties have occurred. Access is strictly prohibited until further notice. Okay. That is all of the scans in here, thank God. And we can get rid of these crates here and move on through. You are a new enemy,
According to logbook.
an ice beetle, burrowing insect with an ice-reinforced carapace, adverse to heat. This member of the beetle family is adapted to life in the sub-zero temperatures in the Phendrana drifts, growing a thick ice shell over its entire body. The ice is extremely resilient, providing the ice beetle with extra protection and augmented digging abilities. In other words, we got beetles here too. They're not just in Choza Ruins. I think that was all of them, though. I don't think there's anything else to scan in here. Nope, not at present. Ah! Good. Even more space pirates. Why not? Let's see. Central tank control circuit connection terminated. Alright, that looks enticing. Testing of thermal imaging software complete. Commence download to tactical visor prototype for field testing. We got more jetpack space pirates. Get rid of them very quickly, because they will be an annoyance otherwise. Those were the only 3 enemies in the entire room. Awesome. Alright. What is this? This unit supplies power to a containment force field at the bottom of the room. I don't think I actually knew that that was scannable. I don't remember ever seeing that scan before. Alright, well, we got plenty of Metroids in here. Great. Central tank auxiliary circuit connection terminated. And that gets rid of the force field in the way. Thermal imaging software exceeding initial expectations. And these auto turrets are exceeding my capacity of patience. I don't believe there's anything else to scan in here, though. At least not on this floor. There is this white door here we can't open yet. So we're going to have to get rid of the turret. And we won't be able to open the white door just yet. It is completely inaccessible to us. Main circuit terminated. We now have access to this item. No, this item does not open the white door. Inform command that thermal vision test will begin soon. Abnormal heat traces stand out against their surroundings when looking through the thermal imaging spectrum. Thermal visor interfaces will be sent to a quarantine area. These visors will be useful for any personnel involved in transport of the unstable test subject there. So, looks like this is a new visor. The thermal visor. Let's grab it. So now that we've acquired the thermal visor, we can use the down button to activate it. Just like we would use the right button to activate the scanner. Alright. So, this is what the thermal visor looks like. And it will allow us to see the shadow troopers very easily. However, the image is very blurry. I will say I am not overly fond of staying in the X-ray visor for very long. It is very annoying to look through. But the alternative is being literally unable to see anything. So we kind of have to use it. It is what it is. Also have to deal with these Metroids, because why wouldn't we? Thankfully, Metroids are pretty easy to deal with in this game, in small numbers. They can be a little bit annoying in bigger numbers, but we haven't encountered them in bigger numbers yet. Oh, that didn't count? Really? Okay, whatever. And again, case in point, you can't really see anything. I mean, it's slightly visible, but it's not very... The only reason you can see the platforms is because they have emissive textures. That's literally it. So, let's deal with these Metroids. This is the last one. And you'll notice there's something right here behind the wall. If we scan it, nothing shows up. But, oh yeah, hold on. This door has no power conduit. I wonder what this is. Now, you need to have the wave beam equipped for this. If you have the power beam equipped, nothing happens. So, switch the wave beam and the door turns on. And we can go through. This is a sentry drone. Well-armed and armored security mecha. Security drones have limited intelligence, but do their assigned tasks well. Being machines, they are susceptible to electrical attacks. When alerted, drones initiate a security lockdown and then attempt to neutralize the intruder. Their electronic warfare suite and scrambled visor technology as well. In other words, you gotta kill these guys because they make it absolutely impossible to see if you don't. Also, they self-destruct. Even after you kill them, it is still impossible to see in this room, so you gotta turn the visor back on to get through. And now that we're in this room, this is why I said you couldn't see that missile tank after coming back in. Oh, Jesus. So yeah, turn back on the thermal visor. I don't know why I turned it off. I'm going to try to just ignore those Metroids if I can help it. Oh, hi. This elevator only has space for one, I'm afraid. You guys are very annoying. Yeah, that's the main reason I recommend getting that missile now. Because when you're in the morph ball, you can't use a visor. Oh, crap. And from this point on, Shadow Pirates are going to be invisible. You will not be able to see them without the visor on. So just keep that in mind. Alright. Easy enough, though. Also, now that we have super missiles, I believe there's a specific tank a few rooms back that we can open up now. So let's do that. Thankfully, we can see in this room again, although it does have these godforsaken pirates again. Bozos. Once again, though, easy enough to take care of them. Not a big deal at all. If we go through this room... Nothing. It's the other tower. I keep forgetting. I don't think we can do it yet, but I'm double checking just in case. My memory might serve me wrong. Where's the last jet pirate? There he is. Alright. Annoying little shites. Yeah, we can't do this yet. Eventually. Eventually. Back through here, make sure we're actually going the right way. Yes, we are. I think. Yes, we are. That room here is the one with the cordite area. And I believe we'll find cordite is bit more vulnerable now than it was before. Oh yeah, you can't really see in this room either now. Let's save real quick. There we go. Turn the thermal visor back on. And pirates are down here. Let's see, where's the other one? There he is. Alright, they're dealt with. Big caveat of using the thermal visor as well. You cannot see the map when in thermal mode. So it makes it a little bit more difficult to see exactly which room you're going toward at a given moment. Unless you're familiar with the game like I am. I've never noticed this before. I don't think it does anything, though. It's just there. More of the drones. Great. Get rid of these bozos. They both blew up. Awesome. Absorb their remains for sustenance. Alright, we're back in this room. And you'll probably recall there was something you can grab in this room. Specifically in here. So, earlier, it said to use the charge beam, we have to be on, oh yeah, we have to be on, sorry, forget my controls. We have to be on the power beam for this. Charge the power beam, loud out a missile. Let out a missile is the terminology. Anyways, there's another missile expansion here. In this game, super missiles are not a separate ammo, they just use 5 missiles. Anyways, let's keep going through. I am going to avoid the Metroids for the most part again. Also, I like how there's actual, like, thermal... Yeah, an actual thermal effect on the arm cannon. I don't know if it changes depending on the beam you're using. I mean, a little bit, but not effectively, really. We probably should be on the wave beam, though. It does a little bit more of a number on these bozos. Is that guy... Okay, he was, like, running against the wall there. I'm not sure what was going on. Alright. We took care of those yahoos. And I believe... Yep, just gotta head back there. Now that we have super missiles, we'll be able to do quite a bit. Anything involving cordite. There's at least 2 things I'm thinking of, other than where we're supposed to go. Hey, dude. Yeah, even in rooms that aren't dark, you'll still need the thermal visor to see the shadow troopers. They can be a little bit annoying, though, because they move around a lot. Shadow troopers are a little bit harder to kill than the normal space pirate, but not by a strong measure. There. They have been taken care of. Now then, we can actually see in this room, although it is foggy now for some reason. So let's go back. And we have returned to this little central room here. Before, we could not get through there. However, now we can. Remember it's made of cordite? That's right. Charge the power beam, blow it up, and then switch the thermal visor, switch to the wave beam, and there. Now the door can be opened. But we will be dealing with the threat in there in the next episode. So I'll see you guys then. Bye-bye.